So think about the last time you bought something online. A book, maybe some clothes. Pretty simple, right? Click, buy, done. But what if you had to buy, say, 10,000 bolts for a factory? Yeah, that's a totally different ballgame. And that world, the world of business-to-business sales, is in the middle of this huge digital shakeup. So today, we're going to dive into online B2B platforms and see how they're changing, well, pretty much everything.
So here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll look at the old way of doing things, the clunky traditional methods. Then we'll get into what these B2B platforms actually are. We'll cover the big advantages, how to pick the right one for you, and wrap up by looking at why this is way more than just putting up a website.
All right, first things first. To really get why this is such a big deal, we need to take a step back and look at what it's replacing. I mean, what was B2B commerce like before everything went digital?
Okay, picture this. Rolodexes on desks, maybe even a fax machine humming in the corner. Seriously, the old B2B world was all about who you knew. It was built on handshakes at trade shows you had to fly out to, and you were pretty much stuck selling to people in your own backyard. It was slow, manual, and yeah, lots of room for error. But now, look at the other side. This isn't just a small step up, it's like jumping to a whole new planet. Suddenly, you've got global reach, you're open for business 24/7, and you're making decisions based on actual data. It's a completely different universe.
Okay, so that's the before. Let's get into the after. What exactly are we talking about when we say B2B platform? Let's break down what this whole digital ecosystem is. Now, this is super important. It's easy to think of this as just, Amazon for businesses, but it's so much more. It's a full-on ecosystem. These things are built from the ground up to handle the tricky parts of B2B. We're talking huge bulk orders, custom pricing for different clients, and maybe most importantly, building those long-term partnerships that really matter.
And of course, they're not all the same. They come in a few different flavors. You've got your B2B e-commerce, which is kind of like a company's own private digital showroom. Then there are the huge online marketplaces. Think of a giant digital mall where tons of buyers and sellers hang out. And finally, you have these super focused industry hubs, which are like specialty shops for one specific niche, maybe medical supplies or heavy machinery.
Okay, so now we know what they are. But the million-dollar question is, why does this actually matter? What's in it for your business? Let's talk about the real measurable benefits. Benefit number one, and it's a big one. Your market just exploded. The whole world is now your customer base. A small shop in, Ohio, can sell its products to a huge firm in Germany, and they never even have to get on a plane. Those old geographical borders, they've basically just disappeared. Next up, think about all that paperwork, purchase orders, invoices, quotes, just stacks and stacks of it. These platforms can automate that whole tedious process. And if you're a business juggling hundreds of orders, this isn't just a nice little feature, it's a total game changer. We're talking about saving a massive amount of time and, you guessed it, money.
All right, this is where things get really cool. These platforms are absolute gold mines of data. You can see in real time what's selling, who's buying, and where they are. You can spot a trend starting in one region and immediately adjust your strategy. You're no longer guessing. You're making smart, data-driven decisions.
And then there's trust. I mean, think about it. We're not talking about buying a t-shirt here. These are often huge, expensive orders. You have to trust your supplier. So features like verified seller profiles, real customer reviews, and transparent pricing, all of that builds the confidence a buyer needs to pull the trigger on a big purchase.
Finally, let's talk about finding customers. This is a huge one. Why spend a ton of money trying to build an audience from zero when you can plug right into a platform where all your potential customers are already hanging out? It's like, would you rather open a store on a deserted street or in the busiest mall in town? It's a no-brainer.
Okay, so the benefits are pretty clear, right? But now comes the tricky part. There are so many options out there. How in the world do you find the one that's perfect for your business? Well, it all starts by asking yourself a few key questions.
Think of this as your checklist. First, how big are you? Are we talking a handful of orders a day or thousands? Next, pricing. Is it the same for everyone, or do you have complex, custom deals for each client? And what about your other software, your inventory, your CRM? This new platform has to play nice with them. Do you want your own branded storefront, or are you happy to be part of a larger marketplace? And last but not least, you gotta be honest about your budget and what your IT team can handle. Answering these will really help narrow down your options.
Your answers to those questions will probably put you into one of these categories.
You've got the big enterprise solutions. Those are the heavy-duty systems for massive companies. Mid-market is that sweet spot for businesses that are growing fast. Niche platforms are for specialized industries that have really specific rules or buyers. And then there's that classic trade-off. Self-hosted gives you all the control, while SaaS is all about convenience and getting started fast.
All right, for our last section, let's zoom out a bit, because I want to make this really clear. Choosing a B2B platform isn't just about selling stuff online. It's bigger than that. It's about building a foundation for real long-term growth.
And this chart shows you exactly how that growth happens. For instance, the platform can intelligently suggest upsells or related products, which pushes up your average order size. When buyers enter their own orders, you see way fewer costly mistakes. And when you can get new customers set up and buying faster, you start making money from them sooner. It all works together to create this amazing cycle of growth.
I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. A good online portal is so much more than just a sales channel. When you give your customers the power to manage their own accounts, track their own orders, look up their history, you stop being just another vendor. You become a partner. You're making their job easier, and that is how you build real, lasting loyalty.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. This whole digital shift isn't going anywhere. It's here to stay. So the real choice for every business out there is, are you just trying to sell products? Are you actively building a digital ecosystem that's ready for the future? Thanks for hanging out with us for this explainer.